So, first video with the GoPro in the new Vet, 2007 Z06. I used to have a Camaro and I bought this GoPro like way back before I had any of the cars, and I'd use it on a Malibu, which is funny. But anyways, all that to say, it took a while to set up the camera. Was a little bit annoying. It is an older GoPro that I have, so that is probably why. But either way, we've got it all set to go now, and we're gonna hit it just to go get some gas. A little background on the car is it's a 2007, like I said, a Z06, and I bought it from a guy that had the heads repaired, so that was nice. That was a big concern of mine, is making sure that we were all set to go there, because the last thing I wanted to do is have any issues. And then they went ahead and threw on some Borla Attack axle back mufflers. So surprisingly enough, it does sound pretty good. And I guess I can open up the windows for a bit. I don't know what it's going to do for the sound quality. Yeah, so really there's some head work done to it, there's some exhaust work, and I do really enjoy it. Honestly, I got this car as something, as kind of just like a cruiser, a weekend car, just something to really just kind of enjoy and not have to worry about dailying, because I used to have a 2015 SS Camaro 1LE, and that one I did daily. It was not great on gas, that's for sure, but I'd also done some stuff like a cam, full exhaust, it was headers, deleted the resonators, cats, all that stuff. It was down in Florida, so you could basically straight pipe it, and that's what I did. Also had like cold air intake, and then some of the like spark plugs and stuff like that were upgraded, so it was a bunch of fun, but at the same time it wasn't the most economical. So it's definitely nice to have something where it's like you don't have to drive it every day, and that you can, you know, just kind of enjoy it on the weekend, keep the miles low, and, you know, have some fun. Crazy too, because it's just, you know, catback mufflers. The whole exhaust is still the same. It's crazy how just throwing that on really liven it up. I will say, when I had the Camaro and I had the exhaust on that, kind of something that I wish I would have done, would have still upgraded the mufflers on it, because those mufflers were meh. But is to upgrade them a little bit and then get some type of cutout, because when you go straight pipe on something, I definitely wanted the feel of it being like a NASCAR or something like that. I just thought that would be, you know, cool being younger. But the drone and the loudness of it all the time, like I would make trips that would be whatever, 4, 5, 8 to 10 hours, whatever. And it just, after that trip, you've got a headache. I even had a little bit of a headache on this one when I drove it back like 4 or 5 hours. But just to have that is really, really nice, you know, mild to wild, whatever the ones are that are out there. But it's just nice when you don't want to have it stupid loud. But getting back to it, I think, again though, it's crazy what just a good set of axle back mufflers will do to, you know, liven a car up, or, you know, at least the sound. It's not like you really test drove one of these and I'd heard people talking about it, but you know, right, people online are going to sit there and be like, oh, I get this, I get that, and you never really know. But yeah, I went, drove one, it was the same way, this one's like it, so it's just really nice to be able to have that when you have a car that, you know, comes with 500 horsepower at the crank, stock, and it's got a 7-liter V8. I mean, it's insane to be able to have that, and that made me feel a lot better that I wasn't going to burn through gas as much. And if I look right now, I'm actually going to fill up, like I was kind of saying, right now my average fuel economy on this tank of gas is 19.6 miles per gallon. A lot of the driving that I do is on highway, so again, right, that makes sense. But again, 7-liter V8, 427 cubic inches if I'm not mistaken, 500 horsepower, 505, whatever. But it's like, getting that is insane. The value's there for me. I was sold on it. My thought was between getting some type of, you know, weekend sports car to enjoy and, you know, whatever, do some YouTube stuff, Instagram, social media, or getting a truck. I like both. It'd be great to have both, but at the same time, for me, the value on this, I bought this car with like 29,000 miles, 2007, so basically new in my book. But it just, the price point was much better than where trucks are at. And again, like, I probably would have traded a car in for the truck because they're so expensive right now. And then you're losing out on the gas mileage. You get the active fuel management, if I'm saying that right. But I still feel like, and I could be wrong, I'm just putting this out there, but I feel like a lot of the trucks are still doing it right, and vehicles are doing it where they shut off a couple of valves. I don't like that personally, and I feel like there's been issues with it. So, all things considered, pardon me, looking at a C6 Z06 with some miles on it, not a ton. This was something that you can get for like right at like 40,000. There was one that I saw, I forget what year it was. I think there may have been like some type of accident on it, but it was something like super insignificant, and they were wanting like, I don't know, it was like 34 or like 36 or something like that, and there was some work done to it. I almost wanted to get that one, and then it sold right away, but it's like, dude, for the amount of car that you get for the money that you pay is just insane. So yeah, there's that. I will say, I'm sure there's a lot of other vehicles out there that's good bang for buck performance, and I don't really hate on any, you know, stuff that's out there. I've always been like American muscle kind of guy. I just love the V8s, love the sound, love the look of the cars. But I think that's what you got to go for, is if you're a car enthusiast or looking to get into something, it's like, you got to find, obviously it has to mean something to you, but find those little, you know, the niches out there. Find the cars that have been taken care of, that don't have a lot of problems, that put down some good horsepower, or sound good, look cool, whatever you want. But I think that's what's so cool about, you know, the car community, is you have all these people passionate about it. And when you get some of these cars that, you know, this, I forget what they went for, brand new. I think it was like, you know, 65,000 or something around there. I was watching, been watching like a ton of these like old videos on C6 Z06s from when they first came out, and just how crazy they were for the time, still are. But it just, again, right, like, I'm buying this one still basically new at, you know, a fraction of the price. So it's just awesome. I love it. Another reason why I got it, kind of going into the reasons why I like this car, why I got this car. Number one was, I always liked Vets as a kid. Vets, Camaros, like Chevy, just was always kind of a thing. I always liked the way they look, and, you know, that. But the look of them, and when I would go to car meets, I used to live down in Florida, and there was car meets all the time. It was great. Very, very different from Wisconsin. There's still stuff up there, but the weather up in Wisconsin just doesn't allow you to have car meets nearly as often. But down in Florida, it was, quite honestly, it was the C6 Z06s that just, to me, I felt like ruled the car meets. It just, guys would come up, naturally aspirated, they'd have a crazy cam in there, they'd have all the work done, you know, head cam, intake, whatever. They'd put down stupid power, they looked great, and they just sound phenomenal. So for me, it just, I always liked it. I just thought they were really, really cool. And yeah, just as soon as I heard them and saw them more as I got older, I was like, dude, that's a sick car. Like, I gotta have that. Even with the 2015 Camaro, it was a newer vehicle, had the LS3, still a great car. probably know it, like if you're a car enthusiast, but at the time I didn't realize it. But also when you look at the power to weight ratio, these things don't weigh very much for a car. You've got these massive engines in them that it's like they'll just go. So that was something too. It's like before I kind of realized that, you know, how does this stuff kind of stack up? You know, you're watching these videos online of guys racing, and there's this one dude, and just it was like a base C6 Corvette with it may have even had like the LS2 in it, but it was just funny because he was going out there and like gapping all these people, and you know, I don't know what type of cars these folks had, I can't remember, it was a while ago, but that was when I really kind of, I was like, how the heck is this guy doing it? Like, you know, this other cars, you know, turbocharged, supercharged, whatever it had, you would think maybe he'd lose, but it just, again, it's that power to weight ratio. So anywho, that was kind of cool and enjoyable. So amongst my rambling, I don't know if I got to this in the earlier part of the video, but kind of part of the reason why I wanted a C6 Z06 as well, besides for it being cool, always liked them, but I do kind of feel like there is a little bit of like lacking quality of content on them on YouTube, or maybe it's just what the YouTube algorithm wants to show me, but things that I'm interested in is really, oh look at that, there's like a little ice cream or something going on, I don't know what it is, but anyway, sorry, sidetracked. But what I find value in is like some of these car just cruising around videos. Obviously it's cool to see people build them out, this and that, but I think it is just kind of like the Crusin chat sessions. I think those are kind of cool, right? Like you get to know some of these influencers or whatever you want to call them that are out there, but I always enjoyed that. I kind of grew up, not that it was that long ago, but watching that dude in blue. I remember when he had his first Mustang. Actually, I didn't really see much of the ones with the old, I think it was like an 06. That's right, when he started. But it was when he got Smurf. Seeing all those videos, I just thought it was kind of cool, right? Like you're seeing